Welcome back to Dinar Trend Tracker channel. Significant news from Iraq's financial sector, which has garnered global attention for years, are the center of today's attention. Recent events suggest that the Iraqi dinar exchange rate may be undergoing a dramatic adjustment, going from long-term discussion to actual implementation. Many people who follow the Iraqi economy have been waiting for this announcement, which concerns the official revaluation of the national currency. Information that has just surfaced implies that an officially confirmed process is currently underway, following a long period of extensive speculation and many unfounded rumors. Despite keeping tabs on Iraq's economic success and its vigorous attempts to overhaul its monetary system, this news may signal a turning point. After years of planning and worldwide collaboration, we will be delving into the specifics of these reports in this section. The report's fundamental fact, as broken down by the available information, is that the Fundamental Bank of Iraq officially activated a new exchange rate for the dinar. Rather than being characterized as a small technical tweak, this is characterized as a long-awaited, essential development. It is said that the process required a great deal of planning, coordination with several international financial bodies, and many rounds of internal government debates to make sure everything was ready. It is believed that the official communications around this modification highlight its purpose to stabilize and strengthen Iraq's currency. This move is being presented as a necessary economic adjustment, with the goal of making the dinar's value more consistent with what is believed to be Iraq's present economic status and productive potential by both observers and currency holders. It is believed that this reported activation marks a possible turning point in the acknowledged value of the dinar. According to the data, this is a major systemic change and not only a change in number notation. A nationwide coordinated effort is how it is described. Reportedly, the Iraqi Ministry of Finance and other important government agencies are working together on this, suggesting that the entire government is taking a cohesive stance on this change in monetary policy. The country's financial infrastructure is supposedly undergoing a thorough update, with domestic banks, important government payroll systems, and public-facing financial institutions all undergoing adjustments to match the new official rate. This update suggests a systemic update. The news articles stress that Iraq's internal banking system is showing clear signs of this shift. What this means is that the implementation is happening at the operational level, rather than being a high-level pronouncement. Since the numbers themselves are usually the most interesting part of any discussion, let's get down to brass tacks. According to the source, there are several credible sources in Iraq who are giving details, even if the official public international rate is still being released and synchronized globally. Reportedly, these insiders have information that domestic dinar rates are currently being processed and calculated using a completely new value structure that has not been verified yet. Based on what we can tell so far from these internal procedures, this new rate is much greater than the levels that have been in place for a long time. Instead of focusing on Iraq's volatile past, this new valuation is portrayed as a reflection of its strong economy today. Many have long believed that the dinar's officially stated value is artificially low, a holdover from economic sanctions, high inflation, and widespread financial instability of the past. It is believed that the apparent historical imbalance can be remedied by implementing this newly detailed correction. As a result, we're working to make the dinar's buying power more practical and reasonable, both at home and abroad. The report's storyline is consistent with claims made by several experts and economists, especially in Iraq, for a long time. From their vantage point, the nation's huge oil exports, foreign currency reserves, and prosperity were not adequately reflected by the dinar's persistently low value. This long-standing disparity is finally being addressed by monetary authorities, according to the news being reported today. One of the more notable currency adjustments witnessed in the modern financial era could occur if these stated internal rates are correct, and if they align with worldwide foreign exchange markets as stated. Why is this occurring at this particular time? Is a crucial topic that is tackled in the study. Who or what prompted the Iraqi government to decide on this particular time to implement the much-anticipated monetary adjustment? What to readjust? Intensive behind-the-scenes cooperation with big international financial institutions for months yields the solution, according to the source material. Iraq, according to the report, has been working closely with a number of international groups to guarantee that its financial institutions and economy are up to scratch in preparation for this monetary reform. Prior to any official implementation being approved, this preparatory process was crucial. The source material describes these necessary modifications as large and intricate, and they ensured the move's structural integrity. Reportedly, these measures encompassed a complete overhaul of Iraq's internal financial institutions in anticipation of substantially more extensive international integration, a complete re-evaluation of the country's oil income using new metrics, and a substantial reorganization of Iraq's national budget. The Central Bank of Iraq supposedly got the green light to start the revaluations rollout once these crucial stages were recognized as finished. In order to guarantee that the entire procedure is both legitimate and financially viable, the report emphasizes this systematic, step-by-step plan. Regarding the country's future, re-establishing faith in the dinar is said to be Iraq's goal, with the new exchange rate supposedly tied closely to these practical economic indicators and finished reforms. Both its own citizens and the wider international financial community are looking for this kind of assurance. The research presents this as a sea change, with implications that go much beyond the narrow focus of any one interest group. 2. The government presents it as a crucial step in ensuring the country's economic security, independence and prosperity in the years to come. Instead of focusing on a quick remedy, we should be constructing a long-term structure. The source simplifies the economics for a long period, so that readers may comprehend the possible effects of this reported rate change. In comparison to other major currencies, like the US dollar, the value of the dinar was kept at what is characterized as an artificially low level. Because of this, there was a long-lasting discrepancy between the real economic potential of Iraq and its substantial national assets and the official exchange rate. From the structure of government spending to the negotiation of international trade contracts, this artificially low rate had far-ranging and complex repercussions. Additionally, it affected private investment and the buying power of Iraqi individuals on a local level. By revaluing the dinar to a more reasonable and equitable basis, the country's prospects improve. Re-establishing some kind of economic equilibrium is the overarching goal of the action. According to reports, this development has major consequences for how the Iraqi economy works. This would be a huge step toward economic independence for Iraq, as it would allow the government to settle foreign contracts using its own currency. In addition, it would provide Iraqi companies the freedom to set prices that are more in line with their actual costs and values. Put to the general public, the argument put out is that this change could provide their currency a real advantage in domestic buying power. Building a solid foundation and re-establishing faith in the national economy are the main points. Next, the story turns its attention to what is supposedly occurring in Iraq at this very moment. It asserts that local banks have commenced the process of applying these revised dinar internal rates. The nationwide network of automated teller machines, ATMs, has been either temporarily reconfigured or turned offline in preparation for the new system's technological needs and the revised value of the currency. Reports also indicate that the Iraqi government is adjusting its payroll systems, an essential component of the country's economy, to reflect the revised valuation. Reportedly, companies are also getting ready to implement new pricing systems for products and services. These are said to be the small but noticeable indicators that the reassessment is already in motion. According to the story, people in Iraq are starting to take note of these operational adjustments. Various avenues, including official bank notices and government communications, are allegedly distributing the information. Reports indicate that Iraqi social media platforms are aglow with anticipation and interest. This component emphasizes that the development is more than just theoretical financial news as individuals begin to comprehend the potential implications of this new rate for their day-to-day economic life. The announcement is being presented as a major cultural and economic development. According to the survey, this shows that Iraqis are feeling more optimistic about their country's future and proud of their heritage as the value of their currency starts to rise. The research makes a clear distinction between internal implementation and outward global recognition, which is more strongly tied to the nation's economic identity. According to it, verification by international financial institutions is the next crucial step after the Central Bank of Iraq finishes its internal adjustments and the new system is completely functioning. This is an independent but crucial step. As part of the process of gaining worldwide awareness, you'll need to synchronize with key trade networks, international banks, and big currency systems. This is the dividing line between a redenomination within Iraq and a genuine worldwide recognition of the new rate, and it is essential if the rate is to have any influence beyond Iraqi borders. Review. It is said that the synchronization procedure is crucial. It is the final step toward the Iraqi dinar's tradability on a worldwide scale at its newly acknowledged value. It paves the way for trustworthy and transparent international transactions involving Iraqi currency as well. According to the source, the revaluation will not be fully effective until the rate is publicly visible on various official platforms around the world. The greater economic impact of this purported dinar devaluation will not be completely understood or implemented on the international market until this synchronization occurs. The reported internal rates are seen as a powerful indication of intent and domestic policy. Restoring the currency to what is referred to as a realistic value will allow Iraq to potentially strengthen its economic autonomy, if this proposal comes to fruition. Instead of depending nearly entirely on US dollars as the nation has done for decades, the dinar could be used to settle import contracts, pay foreign debts, and determine prices for its vital oil exports. This change will lessen Iraq's reliance on foreign currencies for its most vital economic activities, and give the Iraqi government a lot more say over the country's finances. Iraq may see a dramatic surge in foreign investment if this new rate is fully operational and widely acknowledged, according to activities economists cited in the research. Attracting foreign investment frequently requires a currency that is both stable and realistically priced. Better and more balanced trade partnerships may also result, because trading with a currency that represents the economic health of a nation is beneficial to its international partners. It follows that the revaluation is not seen as a currency-specific event, but rather as part of a larger plan for economic autonomy and to strengthen Iraq's position in the intricate global market. Considering that Iraq is supposedly making this shift, some analysts think that other countries like Vietnam might be watched for their own possible currency modifications. The material also explores the connection to other world currencies. The research implies that there is a connection between larger international financial reform initiatives and coordinated currency reevaluations. There might be a domino effect felt all over Asia and the Middle East if such actions were to take place in other developing economies. The interconnection of these events is used to show that the revaluation of Iraq is not something that happened in a vacuum, but might be a component of a bigger trend towards systemic modernization in international finance and trade. In light of these changes, the paper draws attention to certain real-world factors that are now apparent to individuals engaged with the dinar. Staying is the main point that is stressed. Keep in touch with institutions that provide foreign currency services. They are an important part of the process for officially releasing the new rate on global platforms. Additionally, details on procedures are covered, including the necessity of tidy and ordered cash and the maintenance of records for the purpose of verification. Significant currency exchange events can have tax ramifications, which the paper focuses on. It notes that these occurrences are taxable in many countries, which every national currency holder should consider. According to the article, there are first indications of public enthusiasm in Iraq. Reports indicate that local media are reporting the topic, highlighting the fact that people are showing a newfound faith in the country's economy. Companies are supposedly revising their pricing strategies, and people are seeing the possibility of a greater return on their savings. This cultural effect is important because it shows that a currency revaluation is about more than just governments and traders. Everyday living could be impacted. An improved global financial situation, more economic freedom, and a more hopeful outlook for the Iraqi people are all things that a stronger dinar is touted as providing. Apparently, this news is already influencing the markets, according to the study. Reports indicate that international financial institutions, investment groups, and enterprises are keenly monitoring the situation in Iraq. The reason behind this is because if the exchange rate changes, it may be necessary to re-evaluate previous contracts, such as agreements about import price and large-scale oil deals. The world's financial market players could be influenced by any large-scale currency adjustment, particularly if it comes from a country that exports a lot of oil. Traders and financial experts are supposedly keeping an eye on these developments, realizing that this event has the potential to be one of the most widely watched financial tales of this decade, according to the source material. It is important to note that this action is being justified as a necessary economic adjustment, and not as a speculative market fad. The main point is that Iraq wants the new dinar value to be in line with its real production capacity. It possesses abundant foreign currency reserves and is generally financially strong. The official exchange rate was out of sync with these underlying metrics for a long time. Reportedly, monetary policy is finally bringing the value of the currency in line with the nation's economic reality with today's revaluation. According to experts, this harmony is vital if Iraq's financial systems are to continue drawing in long-term investment from outside investors. As the revaluation process supposedly proceeds, to the advantage of both citizens and companies, finalizing the process involves coordinating technological aspects with global banking networks, foreign financial institutions, worldwide Forex platforms, and SWIFT are all mentioned in the paper. According to the authors, these actions are necessary to guarantee the new rate's liquidity on global markets and to build their reputation. Theoretically, the dinar would become completely marketable on a global scale at its new valuation once this technical synchronization is finished. Once the dinar formally regains its status as a genuine and stable currency on the global arena, this milestone will be reached, and the full impact will be seen outside. It should be mentioned that the research states that the Iraqi central bank has meticulously planned this revaluation with a set of modifications to their monetary policy that will last for the long term. This is happening more than once. Among these purportedly related reforms are efforts to forestall inflation spikes, which are occasionally accompanied by abrupt changes in currency value. Also included are measures to establish new procedures for the continuous day-to-day management of the currency and to guarantee steady liquidity in the domestic banking system, through the use of a strategy that is characterized as systematic and controlled. Reportedly, Iraqi authorities are striving to maximize potential benefits for investors and civilians while minimizing economic risks. So, according to today's news, the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar is not only something that could happen in the future. Reportedly, Iraqi internal upgrades are online at this same moment, that the banking industry is adjusting its operations, and that the public is starting to notice the first real results of this policy shift. Everyone is talking about how soon the formal worldwide release and synchronization will happen. Many see this as a watershed point in Iraqi history that will bring back the country's pride, while also changing the country's financial fortune. We have designated the next few hours and days as time-sensitive. International platforms are starting to synchronize while banks inside Iraq are finishing up internal changes.